Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a very overcast and 14 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it a mere 57. I could feel that this morning when I got up. Definitely felt a whole lot cooler as I went barefoot into the kitchen. The reason for that is because I've got some doors that are open, so when I get up in the morning you can feel that cold air at the foot level. Anyway, the good news is that I'm pretty sure this is not going to hang around for too long, but you will notice that I've got a jacket on this morning, a lighter jacket, just in case. I just didn't like the look of that weather out there this morning. So how are you all doing? I have got something that's driving me insane at the moment, and I don't know if any of you have ever had it. I've got some mineral powder that has a brush attached to it, which I love. Really, really love it. The only thing is that the bristles are beginning to come out of the brush. And so now when I put the powder on, I've got bristles all over my face, and I can feel them and I can't see them. I don't know if any of you have ever had that feeling, where you're going like this because you can feel the darn things, but where are they? Not within my reach, obviously. So I'm obviously going to have to throw that brush out because I can't keep doing this to myself every day. It would be insane, put it mildly. I wanted to talk a little bit today about your attitude to life. The reason I say that is, as you know, that I do what I can to mentor and help young people, and including bringing them into work and get an idea of what it's like to work in an environment such as ours. And the thing that's always struck me was the attitude that I demand. When I say I demand, this is called, if you want me to take on this young person, these are the base qualities, I think, more than anything, the best qualities I would ask for. I go back, and I know I have mentioned it before, but I will go back and quote Mother Teresa. Actually, I can't quote her because I don't know exactly what her words were, but I believe that Mother Teresa, when asked, what does it take for somebody to become one of her sisters of her order, it wasn't about faith and it wasn't about dedication. What she said she looked for was somebody who could do any job willingly. In other words, whether you were cleaning toilets or looking after somebody who was ill or whatever else the job was, that you could do it with a good attitude. And I wonder how many of us live our lives with a good attitude. The reason I say that is I'm watching someone at work who's been brought in, not by me, but has been brought in to supposedly help over the summer. And I don't know whether it's true or not. Maybe I've got to ask this person, but it appears that they resent everything that they're doing. They're not grateful. They don't appear to be grateful for the job or grateful for the opportunity. They appear to hate it. And that's the sort of level of job that they do. And so you're almost scared to give this person anything to do because there appears to be no pride in their work. And somebody once said, if you're going to be a pizza maker, be the best pizza maker in the world. Have that as your goal. If you're going to be a dishwasher, be the best dishwasher in the world. And do it willingly and with love and with attention. And so I just would challenge everybody who goes to work or even lives life to please think about your attitude that you bring to the world every day. Because what I've also noticed is when this person is around, it sucks the life out of you. You know what I mean? It's just like you really, it sucks life out of you. It takes energy. Plus, it actually brings some level of fear because you're not quite sure whether the job is done properly or not. So, I thought about the fact that, so many of us live our lives like that. We go looking for the negative, or we actually live in the negative, not in the positive. Now, you can say, okay, but living in the positive, that's Pollyanna stuff. I wonder if any of you remember that. That you see everything with rose-colored glasses. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't be careful and aware and those sort of issues. But what I am saying is, bring a bit of energy to the day. Bring a bit of joy to somebody's life every day. Because if you're bringing joy to other people, if you have an attitude of gratitude, then it makes everybody's life that much more enjoyable. And that's why I would encourage it. Now, I've got another special request. This has got to be the best coffee mug I ever had in my life. Probably is 20 years old. It's now cracked, and it's fast out of style. But it keeps the coffee hotter than anything else I've ever had. So, if any of you are hiding any of those, let me know. If you don't ask, you'll never get, right? Now, there's another thing that I found, another thing I wanted to talk about today. And I know you're just going to really just roll your eyes, but I have found that the quality of your toilet paper affects the amount of dust in your bathroom. Now, you're probably all going, yeah, of course. Well, you know something, I've lived this long and never noticed that before. If I buy certain toilet papers, the amount of dust in my bathroom is incredible. And if I buy another brand of toilet paper, particularly Cottonella type stuff, there is no dust from the paper fibers in the toilet paper. Well, let me put it this way, not that I've noticed, or it's minimal by comparison to the other brand or brands that I try. And I've just realized, if you can imagine it, I've only just realized it. And so you look at it and you go, is it worth buying the more expensive toilet paper than I used to buy? I've always bought sort of middle of the road toilet paper, but and the answer is, yeah, if it stops me having to dust my bathroom every day, you bet. And I've noticed, I know this sounds really strange, that it has affected, I see raindrops on my windshield. Wow, there's a thing. We haven't seen raindrops on our windshield for some time. They're very delicate little things. Yeah, anyway, so back to the toilet paper thing. So I had never realized that before. Can you believe that? So I just wondered whether anybody else had noticed that there are certain brands that create a lot of dust. I think it's because the fibers in the paper fibers. And there are others that don't. I have no idea why. So if anybody's got the answer to that, let me know. But I am so glad I found this out at long last. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask, because I've got a lot of very clever viewers, I've got bigger raindrops hitting my windshield. That's what I've got. I am so glad I wore a jacket today. Huh. About that. Now, you all know that if I turn on my squeaky windshield wipers, you're all going to be sorry, so I'm going to wait for a little while here. I still don't have the absolute answer to that. So what's your attitude for today? Have a check-in with yourself, and even regardless of what time of day it is, just check in. What's your attitude at the moment? Do you have an attitude of expectation of things to be good, or do you have an expectation of things to be bad? Now, I could have an expectation of doom and gloom because for some reason my very fancy dishwasher has decided to go on the fritz. Now, sorry people, but my windshield washers have not had to work for quite a while, and I knew that was going to be noisy. So I could sit there and go, oh, this is going to cost me a lot of money, or oh, I'm probably going to have to buy a new dishwasher, or whatever. All of which may be true. The alternative is I can hand wash my dishes for the rest of my life. The other possibility is, oh, I won't be able to get a dishwasher that matches my present one because it will be slightly out of style by now. So, you know, you sort of look at these things and you think, I could create a living hell for myself. Now, there's the other possibility, which is I can call somebody out and they can come and fix it, and it can cost me more than a new dishwasher. How many of you know that story? So the first thing I'm going to do is to check how much it's going to cost to have me bring somebody out to fix this thing. And if it's going to cost me more than half of a new one, I'll probably go for a new one. I don't know. I'll just get some research out there. But I was going to say that, it all depends on my attitude, right? I can make this living hell, or I can just make it is what it is, and let me just get it over and done with and fixed. And this is happening at the same time where my car needs some major service. Of course, it stands to reason. And so, you look at these things and you go, it's not fun, but it's part of the reason why I put away money every payday. My attitude is, and I've got to say this, my attitude is, I've got to have this emergency money sitting aside because emergencies will happen. I don't care whether it's your health, your teeth, your dishwasher, your car, your whatever. Emergencies will happen. And if you have an attitude of protecting your stress levels, then when it happens, you're not going to be pleased, but you will have the money. And as I think many of you know, every time I put a check in, I take 10% and put it away into a special savings account. And then the next 10% I put away into a different thing for a different reason. So, and then I do everything I can to live on what's left. And it's quite funny because the system works really well for me. Now, obviously, if I want to go on vacation next year, then I need to start putting that money away as well. And you know how I do that. You remember that from last year. So, you look at all these things, and it's an attitude. I cannot expect to have emergency money if I don't have an attitude of saving. And reality. Emergencies will happen. Things will go wrong. That's called life. There will be some people in your life that are negative, and the best thing you can do is to limit your time with them. And that's what I'm doing. But if you surround yourself with negative people, then you will become just like them. If you surround yourself with positive people, it's amazing how that affects your life. And I have to say, I'm very fortunate that I work with a bunch of pretty positive people most of the time. Occasionally we got one or two that, you quite happily not work with. But luckily, I don't have to interact with them too often. Life is not perfect, is it? So have a look at your attitude today, see how it's doing. And have a look at what you're doing to prepare yourself for a negative reality. And if you haven't started saving, one of the things, I remember Angela and I were talking about this one day when we were having a chat, and either on the broadcast or somewhere. And I said to her, if you want to stop spending money on bad things, then put a note up next to your mirror, and every day check it as many times as you look in the mirror. And all it says is, did I waste my money on anything today? In other words, if you're trying to save for a vacation, don't waste your money on makeup you don't need. If you're trying to save for a car repair or possible car repair, just be aware what you're spending your money on. Now, my biggest waster of money at the moment is food. And I don't know why I just seem to buy food. And it's not that I eat it, I keep it in my fridge until it goes bad. I really want to work on either buying less and then going more often rather than trying to make it last, because it doesn't. Anyway, having said that, that's an area that I've got to look at. For those of you who saw the tidy up the makeup thing that I did, thank you for your comments. A lot of you got inspired on that one. I must say, it's so much easier. I get up in the morning now and I put my makeup on and everything has its right place and I put it back there. If Nana's listening, yeah, I know you told me that, Nana. Everybody's told me that all my life, but I've never done it. Hey, and my bedroom's not looking too bad either. A couple of things on my bed at the moment because I haven't worked out where to put them, but other than that, very good. This is DearMamaSal saying, have a good attitude, and that'll determine that you have a good day. Bye-bye for now.